You weren't mature. You just didn't have a choice. While other children played, you learned to hide your pain. You learned not to cry, to take care of others, to swallow what you felt. They said you were strong, but they never asked if it hurt. What they called maturity was just survival. Have you ever woken up with the feeling that everything is just kind of dull? It's not an intense sadness, the kind that makes you cry or keeps you in bed. But it's not happiness either. It's just a weight. A quiet apathy, like you're living on autopilot, pretending everything's fine, even though you can't remember the last time you felt genuinely excited. This constant feeling, which seems to have no specific cause, has a name: dysthymia or persistent depressive disorder. The big trap of dysthymia is exactly that: it doesn't knock you down. You can still work, take care of the house, take care of people, but always with this invisible weight, a tiredness that never fades, a joy that never quite arrives. It's like life lost its color, but you learn to survive in gray. Over time, this low, constant ache starts to feel like part of your personality. You begin to think, maybe I'm just a quieter person. I guess I'm just more negative. I've always been like this. But what if you're not? What if this so-called personality is actually a silent alarm, your mind screaming for help for a very long time? A lot of people live like this for years, even decades, without realizing that what they feel isn't normal. That this constant lack of motivation, this seemingly harmless emptiness, could be a real and treatable disorder. So here's my sincere question. Have you ever felt this way, emotionally numb, always waiting for something to change but not knowing what? If yes, write in the comments, "I felt this." Your comment might help others realize they're not alone. And if this message resonated with you, leave a like, so I know this kind of conversation needs to keep happening. Dysthymia is sneaky. It disguises itself as personality, laziness, or everyday discouragement. But the truth is, this sadness isn't you. It's a symptom. And symptoms, once identified, can be treated. Shall we move forward together? Have you ever noticed how easy it is to come up with excuses for this constant emotional state? When someone asks if you're okay, you say, "I'm just tired," or "it's just a phase." Over time, these phrases become shields. But the truth? They hide a battle you've already stopped trying to explain. That's what dysthymia is like. It doesn't scream. It doesn't explode. But it slowly drains your energy, like a light bulb that's gradually dimming, until you forget what it felt like to feel whole. That's when many people start blaming themselves. Why can't I be happy like everyone else? Why does everything feel harder for me? And the cruelest part, you start to believe the problem is you. But it's not. Dysthymia is deceptive. It makes you think your lack of motivation is laziness, your difficulty focusing is just distraction, your irritability is simply a bad mood. But really, all of it is a tired mind, exhausted from fighting alone. Tell me this. How many times have you tried to cheer yourself up and pretended to be okay just so no one would worry? How many times have you swallowed your tears and smiled when all you really wanted was to disappear for a while? If that's ever happened to you, comment here, "Yes, I've hidden how I felt." It might seem simple, but this kind of sharing can be the start of healing, for you and for whoever's reading. And if you're still here reading this far, it's because something in these words speaks to you. So go ahead and leave a like. It's more than just a click. It's a sign that you're ready to start understanding what you're feeling. And I'll be right here to show you that there is a way out. Some days you wake up feeling sad, with no clear reason. The sun is shining outside, the coffee's ready, the routine goes on. But inside, everything feels a little gray. It's not an intense sadness, not a breakdown, it's more like a thin cloud that follows you everywhere. You try to ignore it, try to distract yourself, but it comes back. And the worst part? No one notices. Because you go to work, smile in photos, reply to messages. On the outside, everything looks fine. This is one of the cruelest symptoms of dysthymia, a sadness that no one validates, not even you. Because it doesn't knock you down all at once. It wears you down slowly. And then you start asking yourself, am I being ungrateful? I have a job, my health, my family, why can't I just be happy like I should be? And that's where the danger lies. Because when pain is silent, it disguises itself as normal. You get used to living in the almost energized, almost present, almost happy. But tell me honestly, how many times have you felt guilty for not being happy, even when you had every reason to be? If that's ever happened to you, drop a comment saying, "I felt this." Others who read it will relate, and maybe for the first time, realize they're not alone. And if this content is helping you better understand what you're feeling, hit the like button. That way YouTube will show it to more people who might need to hear this right now. Let's keep going together, because the next part might help you understand something no one has ever explained to you about what you're feeling. You wake up, and you already feel exhausted. But it's not the kind of tiredness that a cup of coffee can fix. It's like something is pulling you down from the moment you open your eyes. Life goes by like a movie where you're just a spectator, present but disconnected. You handle your responsibilities, reply to messages, do what needs to be done. But deep down, it feels like nothing truly reaches you. This kind of apathy, this silent emptiness, is one of the most common signs of dysthymia. The problem is, because it's a chronic and quiet kind of pain, you start treating it as part of who you are. I've just always been like this. But, have you? Are you really like this? Or have you simply gotten used to a pain no one ever taught you how to recognize? Here's an important question. Can you remember the last time you truly felt excited about something? When you woke up actually looking forward to the day. If you had to think too hard, maybe you've been living in emotional survival mode longer than you realize. If this hit home for you in any way, leave a comment with just one word: invisible. Because that's exactly how dysthymia makes you feel, invisible even to yourself. And if this video is helping open your eyes, leave a like. It shows that it is worth talking about the things no one really talks about. In the next part, we'll talk about how dysthymia blends into your identity, and why it's so hard to detect even for professionals. Over time, living with dysthymia convinces you that this constant lack of energy is just who you are. You no longer see where the disorder ends and your personality begins. When someone says, "They're just kind of closed off," or "she's always a bit gloomy," it only reinforces the narrative that this dimmed version of you is just you being you. But it's not. This sadness you carry as if it were part of your essence might actually be a symptom, ignored for years. It's like wearing tight clothes every day and forgetting what it feels like to move freely. The emotional weight becomes so normalized that you can't even picture a lighter version of yourself. Have you ever felt that? That feeling like you've never really been light? That full happiness seems like something that belongs to others, but never quite to you? And here's a real question. Could you describe who you are without using words like tired, overwhelmed, or unmotivated? If that's hard to do, maybe that sadness has been with you so long that it turned into part of your identity. If this reflection hit you in any way, leave a comment below with this one phrase: "This is deeper than it seems." Just that. It helps break the silence around something so many people feel, but almost no one names. And if you haven't liked the video yet, now's the time. It tells the algorithm this content matters. Now, let's talk about the invisible side effects of dysthymia, and how living this way can silently impact your physical health without you even realizing it. Did you know that dysthymia doesn't just affect your mood, but can also impact your body in ways you might not even realize? Many people living with dysthymia report constant fatigue, unexplained aches, digestive issues, and even trouble sleeping. That's because low-grade chronic depression acts like a silent weight, wearing down not just your mind but your entire body. Imagine going through life with a battery that never fully recharges. You try to get through your daily tasks, but you feel a tiredness that never goes away, a pain with no clear cause. And yet, on the outside, you seem fine. This silent wear and tear can make you feel frustrated and misunderstood, because the people around you don't see the daily battle you're fighting. Tell me, have you ever felt unexplained pain or fatigue and never connected it to your mental health? Or worse, has someone told you, it's just in your head? Leave a comment so we can see how many people are living this hidden reality. If you're starting to understand what it's like to live with this invisible shadow, don't forget to hit the like button. That small action helps this video reach more people who might need to hear this message. In the next section, we'll go even deeper, and talk about how this condition can affect your personal and professional relationships, often without you even realizing it. When you live with dysthymia, the impact goes far beyond just you. It reaches into all your relationships. That constant feeling of low energy and lack of motivation can slowly push you away from friends, family, and even coworkers, often without you fully realizing why. You want to participate, to be present, but the energy, the spark you once had, just isn't there. At work, this might show up as lower productivity, difficulty concentrating, or even tension caused by misunderstandings. At home, it can create emotional distance. Your loved ones don't know how to help, and you feel like no one truly understands what you're going through. This can create a cycle of isolation and loneliness that only makes the symptoms of dysthymia worse. Now tell me, have you ever felt your relationships growing colder, but you couldn't quite explain why? Have people said things like, "You've changed," or "You're not the same anymore"? If so, leave a comment. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone in this. If you're starting to recognize this pattern in your own life, leave a like. It's a small action, but it shows you're ready to break the cycle and take a step toward healing. And remember, you're not alone in this fight. Now let's talk about what actually causes dysthymia, and where this constant, quiet sadness really comes from. Understanding the roots of dysthymia is essential if you want to start dealing with it effectively. This condition can develop from a combination of genetic, environmental, and psychological factors. Many people who live with dysthymia carry old emotional wounds, chronic stress, or difficult experiences that their brain was never able to fully process. On top of that, chemical imbalances in the brain, especially involving neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, can keep you in a state of ongoing sadness, even when you can't pinpoint a clear reason. That means your sadness is not just in your head, or a sign of weakness. It's a real medical condition that deserves care and attention. Have you ever reflected on events or situations in your life that may have triggered this quiet sadness? Often, understanding the past is a key step toward healing. If you've ever tried to identify these causes in your own journey, share it in the comments. Opening up can bring relief, for you and for others who are going through the same thing. If this topic resonates with you, leave a like so that more people can learn about the importance of looking at the cause and getting the right kind of support. Stay with me because now we're going to talk about the lesser-known symptoms of dysthymia, the signs that often go unnoticed but are crucial for a proper diagnosis. Dysthymia is known as a mild but chronic form of depression, yet its symptoms often go unnoticed. Not because they're weak but because they're subtle and persistent. Beyond the constant sadness, you might also experience frequent irritability, low self-esteem, difficulty making decisions, and an ongoing sense of hopelessness, even when everything in your routine seems normal. Another commonly overlooked sign is the lack of motivation for things that used to bring you joy, but without the dramatic intensity of a major depressive episode. It's like life is always slightly dull, and you've simply gotten used to this constant melancholy, believing that it's just your personality. Have you ever felt like that? A sadness that's always there, one you've learned to live with, assuming it's just a rough patch, or just who you are? Leave a comment if you've ever had that feeling. The more we share, the more we help others understand this condition for what it really is. If you're recognizing these symptoms in yourself or someone you care about, don't forget to leave a like. That small gesture might be the first step toward seeking the support you, or someone else, truly deserves. Now let's talk about diagnosis, and why it's so important to seek professional help to identify and treat dysthymia. Many people live with dysthymia for years without ever receiving a proper diagnosis. That's because the symptoms are mild and ongoing, often mistaken for personality traits like just being a bit sad, or always feeling kind of down. But ignoring these signs can significantly worsen your quality of life. Seeking help from a mental health professional is essential to distinguish dysthymia from other disorders and ensure the right treatment. Psychologists and psychiatrists use interviews, detailed assessments, and sometimes specific tests to fully understand a person's condition. They also help identify possible causes and co-occurring issues, like anxiety, which often accompanies dysthymia. Have you ever tried to get professional help for a persistent feeling of sadness? What was your experience like? Share in the comments. Your story might inspire someone who's afraid to take that first step. And if you haven't sought help yet, think of it as an act of courage and self-care. Leave a like if you agree that mental health should be a priority, and stay with me because now we're going to explore treatment options that actually work for dysthymia. The good news about dysthymia is that there are treatments that can truly help ease those persistent symptoms. Psychotherapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is one of the most effective approaches. It helps you understand negative thought patterns and develop strategies to manage them more effectively. In addition, antidepressant medication may be recommended, particularly when dysthymia is accompanied by other conditions like anxiety. But treatment isn't just about therapy or medication. Lifestyle changes can be powerful allies too. Regular physical activity, a balanced diet, and relaxation techniques can all contribute to improving your mood and energy levels. The road to feeling better may seem long, but every small step counts. Have you ever tried any kind of treatment for your ongoing sadness? What was your experience like? Share it here. Your story might give hope to someone else who's searching for support. If you believe this content could help someone you know, leave a like and share it. And don't go anywhere. In the next part, we'll talk about how to manage dysthymia in daily life and how to stay motivated along the way. Living with dysthymia can be a constant challenge, but there are practical ways to make the journey lighter and healthier. The key is to create a routine that supports your mental well-being. Keep regular sleep schedules, include physical activities you enjoy, practice breathing techniques and mindfulness to reduce anxiety, and seek out small moments of pleasure, even if they're simple. It's also essential to build a support network, friends, family, or support groups, where you can share your experiences and not feel alone in this struggle. Remember, accepting dysthymia as a real and treatable condition is the first step toward living a better life. And you, have you found any strategies that help you cope with these persistent feelings? Share them in the comments. Your tip might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. If this video gave you any insight or comfort, leave a like and subscribe for more content that can help transform your life.